Andrew, something that we talk about all the time on here is the salary cap. And we say how it's not real. And people tell us, oh, that you kick the can down the road, you eventually have to pay. But we haven't really seen a team have to pay. Like, what are we seeing right now with the salary cap?
Let's talk about the Rams. We talk about the Donald deal. He's getting a 33 average over the next 3. That's quarterback money. That's impressive. He goes from 45 over the next 3 years to 100 million over the next 3 years.
Good deal.
Like wow. And then the question gets to what you asked, Age. What are the Rams doing? And here I'm going to give you a little salary cap 101. You guys ready? And there's a quiz here too. Okay. What they do is something called cash over cap. In other words, they can pay extraordinary amounts of cash yet stay under the cap. Stay with me here. Signing bonuses are prorated for cap purposes. So if you give a guy a bonus, it's prorated over the life of the contract. You keep the first year number low, you keep the salary low, and the cap goes up in later years. But you're staying under the cap while giving out a lot of cash. Now, cash-rich owners like Kroenke, like Walton will to come, like Jerry Jones, they can do this. Other markets can't. But here's what happens. Let's take the Matthew Stafford contract, AJ. $60 million bonus this year. Repeat, $60 million bonus this year, 5-year deal. So cap charge over 5 years is $12 million a year. Okay? Salary's 1.5. So 60 million bonus, 1.5 salary in 2022, right? Question.
13.5.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. You got that. Here's the second question.
Pretty good at that, yeah.
What is the Matthew Stafford cash number for 2022?
1.5.
61.5.
Fuck. 60 because you got the signing bonus plus the 1.5. That's all I
meant. Andrew, is that because the owner has the cash to write that check?
Exactly. Now, what is the cash over cap number for just one player, Matthew Stafford, in 2022?
Well, you do 61.5 minus 13.5.
Correct.
Thank you. So that's what? 48.
Beautiful. $48 million. So let's just be clear on
Pretty
this.
good.
Stan Kroenke has just paid Matthew Stafford $48 million cash over cap. One player on a team of 60-something players. One player has a cash over cap figure of $48 million. So how do you stay under the cap? You do this proration cash over cap. You have one player making $48 million cash over cap. The problem is somehow if you separate from Matthew Stafford down the road, that $12 million a year of bonus accelerates when you separate. So say, I know it's never going to happen, but say in 2 years they're done with Matthew Stafford. Now they bring in how much cap? Pat?
12, 24, 36.
Well, if it's 2 years from now, 48. Okay. If it's before the third year.
5 years, 2 years, 30. Whatever. I get it. It's a multitude of 12. Yeah, multitude of 12.
36, right. 36 million, that would be dead money. So this is the risk you're doing. Now at the Packers, as you know, AJ, I didn't do a lot of this. One, because we were a small market without tremendous cash flow. Two, I wanted to protect the future. I knew Brett would retire. We had to protect for Aaron. But this is something teams with a lot of cash flow can do. There's been talk at league meetings over the years. I sat in this. We've got to put a cap on cash over cap, right? Understand? These small market owners wanted to get together and say, we need a cap on cash over cap. And then the Kroenkes and Joneses of the world will say, no way.
Yeah, hold on. Because if you're a fan, you want your owner to be cash over cap king here. That's why this new money coming into Denver and these other places is so massive, right?
Right. So now we get to your question, is the cap fake? It's not fake, but there is a loophole within the cap system that's not in the NBA, that's not in the NHL, where you can do proration. Proration is the magic for teams that are struggling with the cap. They simply push out the cap, add voidable years to the end, which are dummy years just for proration purposes, and they can pay way over the cap. So you have to understand this. Cash is hard, cold cash, right? We get that. Cap is not cash. Cap is accounting. That's all cap is.
It's filing.
Cap is accounting.
That's all it is just how it's filed, how the money is filed,
It's
basically.
just accounting. It's not. So when
So
they
it's
had
fake.
Jerry,
So it's
when they
wait, Andrew, wait. Andrew, what you just said to me, by the way, and I think I passed most of your questions, the 61.5, I don't know how I missed that. But what you just said, I cannot wait to regurgitate to somebody in a situation that'll probably be on camera when they bring up the salary cap being fake. I'm like, well, you don't understand the game, okay? You don't understand the cash over cap. So it's only real basically to the owners that don't want to do the cash over cap or have the ability to do so.
correct, who don't want to push out problems into the future if they're going to be problems, right?
And there are only problems if you cut ties with said player before end of voided years where you're prorating everything.
And this has happened to the aforementioned Rams, who counted $21 million on their cap this past year for a guy playing for the Detroit Lions named Goff. Matthew Stafford made $20 million last year. Jared Goff counted $21 million. That wasn't cash, but that was accounting.
That $36 million we threw out there for Stafford,
Yes.
if in 2 years, is that all in 1 year?
If you cut them before June 1, you take the medicine. If you cut them after June 1, they would be 24 that year and 12 the next year.
Oh, so 66% first year, 33% on the last?
Yes. So this is what goes
Pretty good. I've
on
had a pretty good showing here.
with cap management. Hopefully I've explained it sort of.
Yeah, you
elementally.
did. That was amazing, Andrew. We should have had you on, what, like a year ago? I was yelling this into the clouds like the last year and a half, 2 years. And they actually did an entire segment on NFL Network to debunk what we were starting, basically screaming. What's the biggest myth in football currently? And Tom Pelissero, boom. People saying the salary cap is a myth, or isn't real, is a myth. Let me tell you why. And he did an entire thing, and it was like, now people showing up in my mentions like, you're lying, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, you empowered me so much right there, Andrew. I don't know if you know that. I hope you know that.
I appreciate it, Pat.
I appreciate it.
Let me show you the other example, though. And this is the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo. So year one of that contract, Garoppolo made cash about $40 million. The 49ers, flush with cap room a few years ago, they allocated almost $40 million in cap. In other words, they didn't do a bonus that's proratable. They did it through roster bonus, not prorated, big salary. So now when they move on from Garoppolo this year, which they will do through trade or release, there's hardly any dead money, like $1 million.
But their team that year stunk, right? When he signed over there, when he got traded over there, they weren't good, right?
Well, he signed there, he got traded, then they did a big deal. They had cap room, they used it. Now when they get rid of him, they have no remaining dead money. And that's another way to do it. So is the salary cap real? It just depends. With these big market teams that keep pushing it out, it's really a future thing. When people at the Packers, AJ, ask me all the time, can we do this? Can we do this? Mike McCarthy, can we do this? Can we do this? I'd say we can do anything. We can do anything in the world if all we care about is this year.